Mail, measles, and more. My 13th birthday was January 27th, 1959. Daddy gave me a pink purse. Granny sent me $10. David gave me a new satchel for school. Judy sent a card. Happy birthday, little sis. Hope you have a great day. Send me a piece of cake. And Mother gave me a silver letter opener. I noticed you're getting more mail, she said. I guess she meant the WEC flyers and the letters from Judy, though those were usually postcards. Still, it was a nice gesture. Look, Mother pointed out. I had your name engraved. Sure enough, Marlene Nisbet was written on the blade. I didn't have a middle name. David had one. Judy had one. By the time I came along, I guess my parents were both too busy to pick one out. Did I ever tell you I named you after Marlene Dietrich? Mother asked. No, she hadn't. She was my favorite movie star. So glamorous. Even as a baby, I knew you were someone special. Suddenly, having no middle initial didn't seem quite so bad. I ran my finger over the engraved letters and slipped the letter opener into my new purse along with the black feather from Liz. While my talking experiment was going well with Sally and the other kids at school, I still couldn't figure out how to speak to my mother. The problem was, we hadn't had a conversation in so long, it seemed like we didn't have anything to say, so we didn't talk. And by not talking, we made it even worse. It was like repeating a decimal. You can divide 10 by 3 for as long as you want, but all you're going to get is 3.3 with even more 3's after it. There had to be some way to finish the problem. Daddy and I talked after dinner while we did the dishes, and once I caught Mother watching us, envious, as if she were trying to figure out the easy flow of conversation she and I could never catch. The next day I didn't feel quite right. I dragged myself through school, determined to show off my new stuff. Nora liked the letter opener, Sally liked the money. But when I got home, Betty Jean took one look at me and ordered me up to bed. I didn't complain, not even when she brought me a bowl of chicken soup and ordered me to open my mouth. Betty Jean pulled up my lower lip and gently looked at my gums. Yep, white dots. Girl, you got the measles. She was right. The next morning I had a fever, cough, and fine red spots all over my body, and all I wanted to do was sleep. Everyone else had had the measles, of course. Mother and Daddy and Betty Jean a long time ago, and Judy and David a year or two before I was born. But I had a bad case. My eyes turned red, and I had to lie in the dark in my room hour after hour. Miss Winthrop stopped by one afternoon, a few of her blonde curls escaping from the scarf she tied over her head. Thought you could use some company, she said. Nothing worse than sitting in the dark alone. I brought some WEC flyers for us to fold and keep our hands busy. I felt well enough to sit up and help her for a while. Betty Jean brought up the radio from the kitchen, and it felt like a little party until we heard the news. February 3rd, 1959. There was a small plane crash in Clear Lake, Iowa. Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and J.P. Richardson, a.k.a. the Big Bopper, were all aboard. There were no survivors. Miss Winthrop gave a little gasp, and I thought she was going to cry. We didn't fold anymore, just listened to the radio play La Bamba and Chantilly Lace and Peggy Sue over and over again. Miss Winthrop left. My fever got higher and higher. In the evening, Mother called Dr. Agar, our family doctor. He brought his black bag and pulled out his stethoscope. It was cool on my back. He gave me a lollipop like I was a baby. I was too tired to lick it, so I put it in my dresser as he turned to talk to my mother. There isn't much I can do for her. Measles has to run its course. Just try to keep her comfortable, he said. That night I dreamed of flying and plane crashes and Judy stealing my lollipop. In the morning I woke up more tired than when I went to sleep. But I was thirsty and no one came when I rang the little bell Betty Jean had put next to my bed. So I pulled on my robe and crept down the hall. Daddy had already gone to work, but Mother was sitting at the table, the paper open in front of her. Mother? She jumped and sat up quick, like she was a burglar and I'd caught her stealing. Marley, you should be in bed. I'm thirsty. I'll pour you a glass of water. I sat down at the table and tried by my... No. I sat down at the table, tired by my walk down the hall. Mother went to the fridge. There was a big article in the newspaper about the plane crash in Buddy Holly. Underneath it was another smaller article. Closed schools in Virginia reopen. School crisis in Little Rock drags on. Mother handed me a glass of tea and followed my gaze. Ever since I was a little girl, I've been proud to live in Little Rock, proud to be from the South. But it's been going on too long. I held my breath. Frankly, I don't care who she goes to school with anymore. I just want Judy to come home. Me too. We should do something about it, I said finally. What can we do? I went back to my room and brought out the box of flyers Miss Winthrop and I had been folding. I handed one to my mother. It said, "Saying what you think is as important as thinking it. Speak out for public schools." I sat down and started folding, and after a moment, so did Mother. We didn't say a word, but I couldn't help thinking maybe this was it. Maybe this was the way Mother and I would finally connect. Working on a project together had turned Liz and me into friends. Maybe it could work with my mother, too.